Did you really fart on a baby?
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't intentional.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Party Chat. I'm Patrox.
I'm Obey the Fist.
Today we're joined by our lovely friend Schizo Murloc.
Or Schiz for short.
And today the topic is Hearthstone.
Yes, indeed. As of recording, Forged in the Barrens is officially out this Tuesday.
48 hours.
48 hours hence, we'll finally be able to actually play with all of the super dope cards we got to open during Fireside.
Because we are, of course, very impatient.
Yes. The three of us did the Fireside this weekend for the pre-release. Got to crack, 120 plus packs of cards, experiment, and I gotta say, that was the most fun I've ever had using the word experiment while in the same room with a bunch of guys.
But not the first experiment.
Certainly not. Yeah, Fireside was fantastic. If I had known how awesome it was going to be, I would, in the future, I'll be devoting time to Firesides to have more than just one night. Because that, especially the being able to make those stupid no limit decks you can't explore that sufficiently in a matter of 4 hours.
Plus, you get to select brawls.
Newsflash, Firesides are way better when it's not a fucking pandemic and you can actually go to a place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. GameCore used to have them all the time. In fact, I actually saw a couple hosting in a McDonald's once.
I could definitely see that having a lot more interaction with there being a ton more people. But even with just the four of us, I think it was a fantastic time.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Being able to play the
bullshit factory, but whatever.
I mean, that's what Hearthstone has been since its inception. We all know it.
But it wasn't fucking Dances with Murlocs from its inception, you piece of shit.
That was hilarious. What a stupid deck. So, because of the no limitations on deck building, I made March of the Murlocs in I think I used Gul'dan as the hero, which didn't matter because you can mix and match hero cards. But it was just a shitload of Murlocs. And as soon as the Murlocs started marching, nothing can stop them.
In fact, that is a new card from Forged in the Barrens. And let's not forget that that's not even going to stop with the brawl that we did in the Fireside Gathering, because that's just Murloc Shaman, baby.
That's just what Murloc Shaman is going to be, which is
fucking cancer?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be very hard to deal with. That's going to be a deck that you have to neuter very quickly before it becomes too big for you to do anything about.
I think Forged in the Barrens brings a lot of viability to most of the classes, to be honest. I think every class got a good kick in the ass. I mean, Demon Hunters were kind of a one-trick pony, and now this new Death Rattle is just wild.
It doesn't matter if you kill the minions. It's just more minions come out.
Priest is looking mighty powerful. Secret Mage, Secret Rogue, all looking...
Pally, man.
Secret Pally?
Secret Tower Pally. It's all looking really, really good, but we won't know until next week.
Yeah, so as a Demon Hunter, did we get anything in the set that you're looking forward to adding to OTK?
No, not the OTK build. I think
sick of it.
Yeah, I think that's straight out the window for me. I will build Death Rattle Demon Hunter, but I think I'm gonna play Priest a lot. I think that's gonna be my build.
You did unpack both those
until
legendaries.
Demon Hunter. That's what I played, dude. I've played Priest pretty much since the start of Hearthstone, especially when Cahoon was the. Or was it Cahoon?
It was
or
Cthulhu.
Was it Cthulhu?
Cthulhu Priest.
Yeah, the Cthulhu
Hearthstone
Priest.
Exodia?
Yeah. Well, it is now. It wasn't then.
Yeah, now you
then
actually have to build it.
Yeah, now you have to build it. But then it was just a card you got, and it was what was the card effect that made it so good?
It dealt Cthulhu's attack, which you could raise with various cards in your deck to or to randomly split among everybody.
Yeah,
else.
that's right. Yeah, because you would play cards that were give your Cahoon a +2 anywhere in the deck, and you would bring that up, and then so Cahoon, you'd finally get Cahoon, and it would be a 32 10 beater, and then when you dropped Gahoon, it would split all damage equally.
Not even equally,
Was
just
it random?
randomly.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And now
Then
the
it couldn't-
Cthulhu, the
couldn't
Shattered.
attack, right?
No, it could the next turn.
Okay.
Yeah, like if it survived, it could attack. But the new Cthulhu, the Shattered, is very much just Exodia because you get the 4 spells. Well, the 3 spells and the 1/6/6 taunt that you play, and then you get Cthulhu, which just automatically does 30 damage. Which I am glad we're not getting anything like that in the new Forged in the Barrens expansion because we've already seen that with Galakrond. Every class besides, I think, Paladin got a Galakrond face card, which just, kind of takes the uniqueness out of the classes.
Kind of it homogenizes the meta a little bit, which isn't super fun.
Yeah. I think no matter what build is top of the meta, I think my favorite thing about Hearthstone is, as somebody with a crippling TCG and gambling addiction, I don't have to rush out and pay some goon $200 for a single card. No matter what, a legendary is 1,600 dust.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how good that legendary is, how bad that legendary is.
It doesn't matter if
It's
it's Nat
1,600
Pagle.
dust.
Yep, there's no weird economy. As long as you got dust, you can play.
And I know people that hate that. I can't wrap my head around anybody that doesn't like that system.
Shut up and take my money for this holographic $300.
Yeah,
Black
exactly.
card.
I don't got to run out and pay $40 per Pikachu/Zekrom.
I think the best thing Hearthstone has done, especially recently, is really capitalized on the things that it can do being exclusively digital that analog card games can't do, like give you random stuff.
Randoms.
There's so much RNG in Hearthstone, but it can feel a little unfair at times when the rogue scores lethal off of a mage card for what that he just ended up with.
That was
Discover, for example, is a great mechanic because, OTK Demon Hunter, it's Discover and Outcast. It's any Outcast throughout the game, period. And I have a chance at pulling it.
Which
I think Discover is probably one of the greatest mechanics they've added, but Outcast as a mechanic, also wild.
also
Just-
really good.
Yeah.
And you
And
that's
you can't.
not
That's a
something you can-
digital only
Yeah,
thing.
that's not
because
something
otherwise
you
you'd just be
replicate.
able to move your
Outcast
cards
is the
around.
mechanic where if a card is the leftmost, so the first, or the rightmost, the last card in your hand, it gains an additional effect. In a physical card game, I could just move my card.
Right.
Opt Outcast. No, you don't get that. But being digital, the game determines where those are, and I don't get to move them.
And it's just the Blizzard does a really good job of forcing you to think about the
Yeah.
rules it gives you. Like, not being able to change your cards around means you have to think about where those cards are in your hand,
And how to
where
get
your
them to where you
minions
want
are
them.
on your board.
Yeah, that's a big one too, because you don't even get to choose where you just
Not after the fact, but you
right, not
can
after.
put your
you
minions
left or
somewhere.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you after the fact, once they're on the board,
they're static.
that's it. You don't get to move them. You can't touch them.
And then we say that, but there is a legendary card called Silas Darkmoon that rotates all of the minions. So you could end up with one of your opponent's minions, and you give them one. So you can.
Yeah, and
You
again,
could,
things you only do in a
Yeah,
digital TCG.
anything that involves RNG is basically exclusively the purview of the digital format. Because you probably could figure out a way to do it analog, but it'd be clunky and it would slow down the game. And
It'd be kind of like trying to play Pathfinder.
Woof. Spell effects are also something you get via a digital TCG that you don't get, in analog format. Like, sure, you've got special collector's edition Fireball, but it's still not
Does
a giant
it move?
Fireball raining down from the sky.
Holographics can only go so far.
Dude, and Goldens in Hearthstone are fucking animated, so... Now, honestly, it was cool seeing them add Demon Hunter to the board, just because, Illa Daddy. But really, though, where is my Death Knight class?
Hanging out back in what was it? The Frozen Throne
Yep.
expansion
Knights
they did.
of the
where
Frozen Throne, they added hero card, well, Death Knight versions of all the classes.
But
But I want a Death Knight class.
exactly, and like, here's the thing, man. I feel like they just had to wait for that to be far enough back, and then they're gonna give us the Death Knight class. Hot take, because the Demon Hunter's hero power went down to 1, Death Knight's hero power goes up to 3, and it's bring back minions.
Now listen here. So recently, Blizzard, well, not recently, but the past 4 months, Blizzard has started adding the Book of Heroes. So we're getting story versions of all of, like Jaina, it runs you through fighting with Garrosh at Theramore. One of the encounters is talking to Arthas about how he's going to call Stratholme. So just they're card-based versions of
You get to
all of the
play
classes.
Hearthstone encounters that are analogs of the stuff that happened in lore. Like in Uthers, you get to defend Lordaeron against the Orc invasion.
Yeah, I did Illidan's coming all the way up through
Exactly.
Manoroth and then fighting Cenarius.
Jumping off of that, there are currently 10 slots for the various heroes. And we already got Illidan's story during the Ashes of Outland expansion. So we already did Illidan's
Book of
Heroes. 10 slots. They say the last one's going to be Demon Hunter, but I think Blizzard's a bunch of fucking liars. The last one is going to come this 3rd expansion, and it's going to be Death Knight.
We're gonna
I
get
can see it.
because the other thing that has been mentioned is they're talking about doing, like, we've got Forging the Barrens right now, right? So the other expansions that are going to be in this like block are also going to be starting zones, like Asherus.
Hot take.
Return of the Ebon Blade.
Hot take. I know we already did Illidan's story, but they could just give us Illidan's Legion story, like his fight against Sargeras.
Which I have thought of. That is also entirely possible.
Yeah, like we could just see all the way to the point where he is, fighting. Yeah, like the end of the story is him on the seat of the Pantheon with Argus. Like, in fact, actually, one of his first battles could even be like coming down after
On the Broken
Gul'dan.
Shore.
Yeah, well, Broken Shore, or even one of his mid battles could be like fighting against like the champions of Azeroth during the Raid of the Nighthold. I think Illidan's story. It could also be him in Outland during the Black Temple arc, because there's a whole lot of lore that didn't really get fleshed out in WoW that they could do in Hearthstone to be like Illidan's so
Extra
cool.
little tidbits.
But I want Death Knights, dude. I agree, dude. Hero power to bring back
3 mana hero
minions.
power, so like you're slowing down your curve, but if you can bring back stuff for 3 mana, like that's nuts.
Trade you 2 mana. As long as there is a minion in the graveyard, it brings it back as like a 2/2 ghoul. It doesn't bring back the minion, but it brings it back as like an undead minion, like a token minion for a 2/2. But you have to have a minion in your or your opponent's graveyard. Even would also
I
work.
would also take that. I would
Yeah.
absolutely take that.
That's a solid hero power.
Now, who is the Death Knight hero?
Darius Morgraine.
Of course.
Instant answer.
Of course. Instant answer. There's not another choice. Like, technically, there's other choices. Like, you could make the argument for Kultira or whoever.
You can make the argument for Arthas.
You can make the argument for Arthas, but it is absolutely Darian Mograine.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with the role he's playing. I would also
Take
accept
Bolvar.
But Bolvar's not really a Death Knight. He's just the Lich King.
He's just the...
But yeah, no, Darian Morgraine, General Nazgrim
You want the
now is also
True.
a Death Knight. There's a bunch of...
There's a ton of good choices.
The ultimate cop-out is that it's Baron Rivendare.
I hate you.
Could you imagine? Yeah, one of the most iconic Death Knights. You fought him 15 years ago in Stratholme. Anybody remember Rivendare?
Nax.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was
No,
Nax.
he was in Stratholme.
Was it Strat? No, he was in
You
Nax.
fought him in Stratholme and
Yeah,
Nax.
but he's also in Nax. Like, Nax is when he was a
I
raid
guess I don't
boss.
remember. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking was not dungeon. I was thinking raid.
Still 15 years. Well, we got to fight him again in Wrath. Huh.
They could also do a hero that's just the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Dude, those are your legendaries. Those are your class legendaries.
Yeah, those are your class legendaries.
Sue the Banshee.
Hold on. Theory crafting time. Imagine if your legendary was like similar to like an Exodia. You draw all 4 and then you play the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
They
like,
combine.
They
Now,
combine.
see, back at Knights of Frozen Throne, you want to know what the Death Knight Paladin hero power was?
What?
You use it, and you get a 2/2. Like, it basically, at its core, it upgrades your hero power to summoning a 2/2 instead of a 1/1. But if you somehow manage to keep all 4 of those, so it would summon a different Death Knight every time you did it. And they were the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So if you managed to have all 4 of them on the board at the same time, it just ended the game with your victory.
This game's a bullshit factory.
All of the legendaries that came out in Forge of the Barrens, your favorite.
So I mean the Death Rattle Demon Hunter one, whose name I'm really bad at names.
Blackthorn,
Blackthorn.
Deathspeaker Blackthorn.
Real good. Also the new Priest one is really good.
Are you talking about the one that bombs the field with
however
all of the
much.
healing you've done?
Yeah.
What a tack nuke, dude.
That's exactly why I'm gonna fucking run Priest, is to just tactical nuke incoming.
You want to talk about tactical nukes, because my favorite card from the new Forged in the Barrens deck is Mordresh. The new mage minion that if you have dealt 10 damage with your hero power, he deals 10 damage to all enemies. So that's a 10 mana with a 10/10 body attached that pyroblasts everything on the enemy's side of the field.
I mean, yeah, but that's also assuming that you run the game to turn 10.
You can, I mean, that deck's gonna
And
run
then you've got
so
your-
much crowd
Not a
control.
tough sell playing mage.
And
not difficult.
Not only have you gotten to turn 10, but you've managed to hero power every turn.
Not with
for
the
10
new
turns.
cards they've added, like Reckless Apprentice. Fire your hero power at all enemies.
There's a lot of pieces.
New
I've seen
cards that increase the
That-
damage of your hero power.
That's well played. That's a
Yep.
play then.
it.
That sounds tasty.
As somebody who has fallen very madly in love with Libram Pally, Cariel Rome is just the sauce. A 4-drop with Rush that reduces the cost of my holy spells by 1 every time she swings is like pinch and slice, bro. Because not only are there amazing holy spells outside of Librams, but every Libram became a holy spell.
You looking for that zero
Zero
mana Libram
Librams
of Hope?
0 mana, 8 heal, 8/8 taunt divine shield bodies? Yes, please.
Disgusting.
It's bad. It's bad for them. It's fantastic for me.
It's unhealthy for you. Because talk about instant gratification.
So, like, can we just do other fireside gatherings, like, whenever we want?
Yes.
Can we do one right now?
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's
That's our
show.
time. Thank you for coming out. This has been fantastic. You guys, let us know in the comments what cards you're most excited to play with from Forging the Barrens. Let us know what you're feeling like running. Let us know the decks that you hate with the fire of every cell in your body. But until next time, I'm Obey the Fist.
And I'm trying to get my game started.
Yeah, that's Patrox.
We'll see you
Some
next time.
skiz later.
Yeah, take that. You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
This game's a fucking bullshit factory.
It is, though.
Yeah,
It is.
I mean,
That
like the
wasn't
amount
fair.
of RNG that they have.